You got questions, we've got answers. Just ask Kenan. What's going on, everyone? Kenan here, and it's time for another Ask Camp Kenan question. Today's question is a little bit sad, okay? So we're gonna deal with losing a pet. Very much a bummer. And today's question actually comes from Peter Williams, one of our Patreon supporters. And he recently lost 2 of his 10-year-old sulcatas in a fire in their greenhouse where they stayed warm for the winter. So I don't know much more than that. I'm assuming that it might have been an electrical fire or something in that regard. But anyway, he tells me in his little email to me that he really bonded with his dad over the care of these animals. It was something that him and his dad loved to do. And he was asking me, how do you cope with losing an animal that you love? And that is a tough question because everyone's going to do things differently, okay? We all deal with loss in different ways. You know, I'm a little bit older, so I've dealt with a little bit more loss, human and animal, over the course of my life. We're actually hanging out with Socrates that I've had for 13 years, and then over here, of course, is the Aldabra tortoise, Nostradamus, and I've had him 14 years. And, you know, I have many animals here at the camp. Over 150, okay? So what happens is there are going to be certain animals that I know, kind of like on a first name basis. Now I know all the animals, but there are only a few animals that I've given names. It's just too many names for me to roll through. And they're usually animals like the Galop, Socrates, and like Nostradamus that just I spend time with, and you know, I don't have as many of that species, so I get to be with them more often. And by being with them more often, you know, you develop these bonds. So I understand how, if you had 2 sulcatas, how big of a deal it is to lose them. But animals teach us more than just about their biology, more than just, you know, things about them. They also teach us, in many ways, how to be better people. And what I mean is, you know, compassion is a huge reason that I love animals so much. When we look at animals, we see, for most of us that love them, an innocence and a way of living that's just kind of carefree. So I look at that. I also view animals and love them because they teach me about the wider world. They teach me, and by the way, I'm looking for Darwin. But they teach me about the wider world because we'll learn different things about plants, because we know that the animals eat plants. We know that they come from different places, different environments in different countries, and that really just piques my interest. And as I talk to you guys, we're gonna go through this thicket looking for Darwin. But anyhow, you know, the animals, they teach us. There are teachers in many ways, and they can also teach us how to handle grief. And, you know, that's why they'll use different dogs in grief counseling so people can connect with an animal. Now, when you lose an animal, as we all have and all will, if you keep them long enough, some of those things can be very hard. For example, Nostradamus. Nostradamus is one of my favorite tortoises, and if I were to lose Nostradamus, I really feel like a big part of me would be missing, because I raised Nostradamus from a tiny little hatchling, and here he is. He's so beautiful, and he's just so friendly and loves when I scratch him. So we have a connection. Same thing with Lola and Guapo and Slinky. It would be incredibly sad for me to lose those animals. Heck, guys, being honest, I'm really bummed I lost that fly river turtle. You know, that animal, even though I don't know that it's dead, most likely it is. If it escaped and didn't find water, it's just not the best place for those animals to be living here in South Florida. So I know it's not surviving, you know, on its own, which is kind of a bummer. And, you know, when it's your own fault, which I've had, you know, through my ignorance, not understanding how to care for certain animals years ago, or not building the fence high enough, like a bonehead move, and you lose them, it can be kind of hard on you. But, you know, you have to learn from the animals, and you have to hope that you gave them the best possible life while they were here. So that's what I would say to you. I really hope that, you know, you learned a lot with those animals, that they know in their own special way that you provided for them the best you could. And here comes Socrates right now. You provided for them the best way you could. So you can rest on that, Peter, and know that you did the best possible thing for your animal when you had it. Accidents will happen. You have to learn to forgive yourself if that was the case. but you also have to get right back up, take your time to grieve. It's okay to be sad. That's not a problem, man. You got to learn to experience all the emotions of being a human being. And, you know, by doing that, that's how animals teach you. They teach you, like I said earlier, compassion. They teach you about how to be a good person if you're really listening to what they have to say. Now, we know tortoises can't talk, but sometimes it's fun to look at these animals who you don't see a lot of humanity in their face, and you still see some intelligence and compassion in their eyes. I'm sure anyone that loves animals will agree with me that in some cases, most people like animals better than they like people. But anyhow, I just hope you and your dad are healing up. Don't be afraid to feel the feels, to be sad, to shed some tears. If these animals were so valuable to you, you absolutely should just go through the process of grieving. And one day you're just going to be done crying, and hopefully you'll be able to get another couple of tortoises and raise them up, and you can share that experience with your own children. All right, Pete? My best wishes to you and your dad. I'm so sorry. And folks, why not give them words of encouragement in the comments below? The Camp Kenan Army is a compassionate army, and I hope you guys, you know, do the right thing with your animals. So there you have it. We're just going to leave you guys with that. I hope it answered your question. Be good to each other and animals, and they'll teach you how to get through life, because someday you'll lose human loved ones, and that sucks too, but it's part of life. Don't be afraid to live it. All right? All right, Pete. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening to me ramble on. I hope I answered your question. I hope it comforts you in some way, and thank you so much for being a part of the Camp Kenan Army. I'll talk to you all soon. See ya. Hey, Nostradamus, you gonna wake up soon or what? A little bit lazy.